Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, all of my SoFi hodlers. Yes, we are feeling a little bit of pain, but it is going to get a whole lot better. Here in this video, I do want to go over when earnings for SoFi are going to be and why SoFi is going to rally upon their earnings report and ultimately their earnings call as well. It comes down to the simple fact that stocks are priced for their worst case scenario. Take a look at Snapchat, Amazon, or Pinterest over the last couple of days, and these stocks have been beaten into the ground, priced for the absolute worst case scenario. And once they do actually report their earnings, they tend to fly. Take a look at Snapchat, up 60% in after hours. That is where they're going to open the day as well. And I think SoFi fits in that boat damn near perfectly. Now, we are also going to be going over a Motley Fool article that says, is SoFi Bank's charter a risk or an opportunity? And I think you guys will find a lot of value out of that. And as always, I will be disclosing what I am doing and how large my SoFi position actually is. And it is very large. So you guys definitely want to stay tuned for that. We're also going to be going over the option flow sentiment from the institutional investors. And this is very bullish. And I want to give you guys my thesis on how I plan to trade SoFi earnings. We're also going to be going over the short interest because this is not a short squeeze type of trade, but still, I think if we have a big beat to the upside on earnings and the stock does start to fly, it could actually initiate a short-term short squeeze. So that's what we're going to get into here in this video. If you guys find value out of it and want to stay up to date with the most comprehensive in-depth data around SoFi, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below for me. Now, let's dive straight into it. So SoFi is currently sitting at about $11.50 per share. So a lot of us are upside down on our positions, but let me remind you, the most millionaires in the history of the American economy were created during the Great Depression, and that is when things were at their very lowest. I mean, if you bought anything during that time, 10, 20 years later, you were a multi-millionaire. Even a small amount of money turned into a very large amount of money. So you should be looking at this dip, this substantial dip from 25 down to $10.51 at its lowest, as a huge opportunity to load the boat on SoFi. And that's exactly what I have been doing, and we'll get into that once I do disclose to you guys my actual position. But what I want to go over first is the fact that all of these stocks are priced for their worst case scenarios, SoFi included. SoFi's bank charter popped the stock from about $14 per share up to about $17 per share at the highest point, and then we sold off down to $10.51 per share. Like the bank charter made no difference for the fundamental business of SoFi, but that is not the case. The SoFi bank charter makes all the difference for SoFi, and the reason why you should ultimately be that much more bullish on SoFi. And we are going to see gross margins, profits that are about 20 to 25% higher due to this bank charter approval that we otherwise would have not seen. So be very bullish on that one fact. Now, when is SoFi's actual earnings? Without getting into my position right now, it is March 1st. So the time to be making trades on this, in my personal opinion, is right now. And what I like to do is say with SoFi, something that is cheaper that can be pretty explosive to the upside if SoFi posts good earnings and has good guidance, I would like to initiate a large position, 10 to 20 contracts on SoFi, obviously some calls. And then once the IV comes into the option chain, as people start to make their bets if the stock is going to go up or down, which there's not much room to go down at this current moment, that's when you get the contracts that really start to juice up and go crazy. And then you can sell out, say 10 contracts if you bought 20, and keep 10 contracts for earnings and ride those out as a free trade that could go crazy for you. And that's exactly what I am looking to do here in the next couple of days or so. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with that actual position. I will be disclosing that to you guys. Now, let's dive into this Motley Fool article briefly, and then I want to get into the option flow of the institutional investors because that is very, very bullish. So this article says, is SoFi's bank charter a risk or an opportunity? Now, we're not going to read the whole article. I will link this down below in the description or in the pinned comment. Look out for that. I will have that linked down below, probably in the pinned comment. I'll just link it down there for you guys because definitely check it out. But long story short, I'm going to read you guys the summary of this Motley Fool article. So it says, but the chart on the left, it's financial services products. This is primarily the SoFi money account, its credit card, which recently released, and its brokerage account, its investment products, up 179% year over year. That's without the freedom to compete on interest rates with their competitors. That's without the ability to set their own rates, to set their own loan terms, and things like that. It's nearly tripled year over year in terms of financial services products. This is really why I'm so excited to see what the next year or two will bring, now that this disadvantage they have has been wiped away. So Motley Fool definitely has some very bullish things to say about the bank charter, and I think it goes without saying this changes the game for SoFi, and this stock is severely undervalued at the current moment. And I think everybody knows that. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you're loading up on SoFi, and that's why I am loading up on SoFi and taking full advantage of the discount that we are getting. And it's kind of funny too, right? If there's a discount at your local grocery store or at the gas station or anywhere else, people flock and go crazy and buy up as much as they can. But they do the opposite in the stock market. When things are for deals going for half the price they used to, if not more, like in the case of SoFi, people want to stay away. And that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. So I want to put that message out there. Stock market is the only place people run away from deals. Don't be the guy that runs away from a deal. So let's dive into the option flow sentiment and what institutional investors are doing. And then let's dive into the short interest of this trade. And then let's go over the charts and my position in SoFi and the price targets that have been coming out. So we can see for today, we're already at 95% positive order value with $7.05 million worth of orders that have been purchased. Now, this positive order value of 95% means that out of this $7.5 million of institutional order flows that we have seen on the option chain today, 95% of that money has been bullish. That is not a stock that is over its fundamental valuation. That means that institutional investors are very bullish on SoFi, even over the past week. Considering this sell-off that we have been seeing, the positive order value is 92%, 98 orders totaling $49 million. And we can see a lot of these positions are longer dated positions, and a lot of the May and July contracts for about the $17.50 through the $12 calls. So it's looking very good in that aspect. A lot of the January 20th, 2023, take a look at this, $15 calls, 3,000 contracts for $320 a piece. That is a $960,000 trade. Another $624,000 trade. Probably the same institution that is making both of these trades over a $1.5 million trade put together with these two trades alone. That's not to mention all of the other countless trades that are hundreds of thousands of dollars per trade, and virtually all of this order flow is calls. So keep that in mind. Institutions are very, very bullish, and that's somebody, if you like them or hate them, you want them to be on your side. Now, as far as the SoFi short interest, you're looking at 17.93% short interest of free float with 111 million shares that are sold short. Cost to borrow max at 1.47%. So the short interest is very high at the current moment, reflective of the move that we have seen to the downside in the share price of SoFi. Now, the share utilization is sitting at 58.58%. If you guys are unaware of that, if the share utilization is 100%, that means all 100% of shares that are available to be sold short to short sellers are sold short. So we're sitting at about almost 60% of the available shares have been lent out already. So scarcity of shares is definitely starting to occur. Days on loan to cover on all of this 111 million shares that are sold short is sitting at about 2.33 days. So looking good in that aspect as well. Now, as far as what I would expect to happen on earnings if earnings are good, I think a pop to $16 or $17 per share, or even up to about $20 on the high end, is certainly not off the table. And options that are obviously at the $13 to $15 strike could print massively, and that's what I'm hoping for, certainly. And I hope this video finds you guys in the right time so you can load up as much as possible. But keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial planner, so do what you guys want to do. I think it goes without saying that if you're watching this video, you're probably bullish on Sofi. Now, let's dive into my position and then let's wrap up this video. So as far as my current position on Sofi, my market value is $4,700. I am down about $1,700, about 26.38%. Portfolio diversity of 11.28%. Anything that is over 10% of your portfolio, any one position, is a very large concentration and shows a lot of bullishness for the stock in the long term. And I really want to build this position up to about $10,000 here before the earnings. I don't know if it'll happen. Hopefully it will. Hopefully I can manage that, but I do think earnings will be very, very bullish. Now, as far as my average cost, it is $16.01 per share, and I want to bring that down to the average that we're at right now at about $11 per share. So I certainly have a lot of work to do. I'm sure some of you guys do as well. Earnings, like I said, is March 1st. And if I'm trading options, I will definitely go probably with the April or May call contracts. Those will probably do the best and will have the least amount of theta decay if it does take a while for Sofi to pop running into earnings, or if the markets, for whatever reason, do start to come down. So I'm very much looking forward to the earnings on Sofi, and I will keep you guys up to date with any trades that I do make. So do your part, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if you guys have not already. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.